you ever wished you could walk into a room and instantly command attention not through words, but through sheer presence? Many of us go through life feeling overlooked, as if our existence barely registers in the eyes of others. We strive to be valued, to be acknowledged with the respect we deserve, yet too often we fade into the background. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone, and more importantly, know that this is not your unchangeable fate. The power to shift how others perceive you begins within. This isn't about demanding attention or forcing recognition. True presence, the kind that makes people stop and take notice, comes from a cultivated mindset, deliberate actions, and a deep sense of inner strength. It's about building a foundation so strong that others naturally gravitate toward you, drawn by something they can't quite put into words. In this journey, we will explore 10 time-tested strategies rooted in Stoic philosophy, principles that have helped individuals throughout history develop an undeniable presence. But beyond altering how others see you, these strategies will transform how you see yourself, because real confidence, real power, and real influence start from within. This path will not always be easy, but growth never is. If you're willing to challenge yourself, to step beyond old habits and limitations, you will discover something extraordinary: the ability to leave a lasting impact wherever you go. Stay with us until the end of this video and prove to yourself that you're ready to take this step. Are you prepared to reshape your presence and unlock your true potential? Drop a comment below saying I'm ready, and let's begin this journey together. Lesson 1. Prioritizing self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you neglect yourself, you diminish your ability to support and uplift others. Many people view self-care as indulgence or selfishness, but in reality, it is a necessity. The better you take care of yourself, the more capable and resilient you become, not just for your own sake, but for those around you. Self-care isn't just a practice, it's a mindset, a discipline, and a foundation for living a meaningful life. The Stoic perspective on self-care. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To be truly free to lead a life of strength and influence, you must first master the art of self-care. This begins with self-awareness. Do you truly know what you need to thrive? Are you actively nurturing your body, mind, and spirit? Many people drift through life without ever asking these questions. Yet, they wonder why they feel exhausted, unfulfilled, or overlooked. Physical self-care is a fundamental starting point. This means maintaining a strong and healthy body through proper nutrition, exercise, and sufficient rest. When you take care of your body, you don't just feel better. You project confidence and strength, making others naturally respect and admire you. Mental and emotional self-care is just as crucial. Your mind needs nourishment just as much as your body. Practices such as reading, meditation, and personal reflection keep you sharp, resilient, and emotionally balanced. A person who is at peace with themselves exudes a quiet strength, an energy that draws others in effortlessly. A real-life example, the power of self-care in action. Consider the story of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Before he became one of the most influential figures in entertainment, he faced major struggles, being broke, battling self-doubt, and even suffering from depression. But instead of letting his circumstances define him, he turned inward and focused on self-discipline and self-care. Through intense physical training, disciplined routines, and a strong mindset, he built himself into a powerhouse. His presence today is undeniable, not just because of his fame, but because he embodies confidence, resilience, and self-respect. People naturally gravitate toward those who take care of themselves because self-care is a reflection of self-worth. The lifelong journey of self-care. Self-care is not a one-time act, it's a lifelong commitment. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you take responsibility for your well-being, you stop relying on external validation. Instead, you cultivate a presence that is truly respected and valued. And that is how you build a life of strength, confidence, and lasting influence. 2. The power of composure, mastering inner stillness. In a world that moves at breakneck speed, where emotions flare at the slightest inconvenience, the ability to remain calm is a rare and powerful asset. Composure is not just about staying silent. It's about controlling your response, mastering your emotions, and exuding quiet strength. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." These words hold immense power. In moments of frustration, delaying our response gives us control. Instead of reacting impulsively, we choose wisdom over emotion, calm over chaos, and in doing so, command respect without saying a word. The power of presence in high-pressure moments. Picture this. You walk into a meeting late, greeted by cold stares and tense silence. Instinctively, you feel defensive. Maybe you want to explain yourself, blame traffic, or react with frustration. But instead, you take a breath. You pause. Rather than allowing the situation to dictate your emotions, you compose yourself, listen, and respond with measured words. Instantly, the tension eases not because you demanded respect, but because your presence radiated control and self-assurance. People admire those who remain poised in moments of pressure. This is a skill that applies everywhere from business negotiations to personal relationships. Those who react impulsively often lose respect, while those who remain centered draw people in effortlessly. Composure as a path to deeper wisdom. Composure is more than just a tool for social influence. It's a doorway to deeper self-awareness. Silence, reflection, and restraint cultivate clarity. Many ancient traditions echo this idea, including the biblical phrase, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not weakness, it is a sign of strength. It allows us to detach from fleeting emotions and act with purpose instead of impulse. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this deeply. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you learn to control your reactions, you take back your power. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You become the master of your own emotions. A real-life example, the composure of Nelson Mandela. Few figures in history have embodied the power of composure like Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for 27 years, he faced immense injustice and suffering. Yet, he refused to be consumed by anger. Instead of reacting with hatred upon his release, he led with wisdom, patience, and a calm presence that inspired millions. His ability to remain composed under pressure turned him into one of the most respected leaders of all time. This is what composure does. It commands admiration, builds influence, and sets you apart as a person of true power. Why cultivating calmness changes everything. In every situation, you have a choice. React with impulse and weaken your position. Respond with calmness and elevate yourself. People gravitate toward those who remain steady in the face of difficulty. Composure signals leadership, self-control, and quiet confidence, the very traits that earn lasting respect. Join the conversation. What was the last situation where you had to practice restraint? How did staying calm impact the outcome? Share your experience in the comments. Next, we dive into another essential Stoic principle, mastering your time and how valuing it transforms the way others see you. Stay with us. 3. The value of time. Mastering life's most precious asset. Time is the one resource we can never get back. Once a moment passes, it's gone forever. Yet many people treat time as if it's infinite, wasting hours on distractions, trivial tasks, and meaningless conversations. But the truth is, how you value your time determines how others value you. Those who manage their time wisely command respect, while those who squander it are often overlooked. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We are not given a short life, but we make it so." Life is long if you know how to use it. Many complain about not having enough time, yet they fail to prioritize what truly matters. The Stoics believed that by focusing only on what we can control and eliminating unnecessary distractions, we create a life of purpose and efficiency, one that naturally earns admiration. Imagine standing at the center of a raging storm, unaffected by the chaos swirling around you. This is how a true leader approaches challenges. Consider the story of a CEO facing an unexpected crisis. Rumors spread, fear escalates, and uncertainty threatens to cripple the company. But instead of reacting impulsively, this leader remains calm, gathers the team, and lays out the facts. With composure and clarity, they refute misinformation, present a well-structured plan, and restore focus. Their ability to stay grounded in a time of panic earns them the trust and confidence of those around them. People respect those who don't waste time on worry, but instead use it to create solutions. If you want to be respected and valued, start by respecting your own time. The first step is learning to pause before reacting. Instead of rushing into decisions, take a moment to reflect. A brief pause allows you to assess the situation logically, ensuring that your actions are intentional rather than impulsive. Second, practice mindfulness. Regular meditation or quiet reflection strengthens your ability to stay present, helping you focus on what truly matters. Third, remind yourself that the only thing you control is your reaction. Worrying about things beyond your influence only wastes time and energy. By shifting your focus to what you can change, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Fourth, adjust your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as setbacks, view them as opportunities to sharpen your discipline and resilience. Every obstacle is a chance to grow stronger. Finally, develop the habit of self-reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I use my time wisely? Did I react or respond? What can I improve? Small daily adjustments will, over time, transform the way you manage your life. The path of Stoicism is not about detachment from life. It's about focusing on what truly matters. By valuing your time, you cultivate a mindset of efficiency and purpose. You become a person of influence, someone whose presence commands respect. When you respect your time, the world will begin to respect you. Now, ask yourself, how do you spend your time? Are you using it to build the life you want, or are you letting it slip away? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned as we explore the next essential Stoic principle, developing unshakable self-discipline to shape the life you desire. 4. The art of active listening, a path to wisdom and influence. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, are you truly a good listener? Imagine this scenario. A friend is confiding in you about a personal struggle. Instead of half listening while scrolling through your phone or mentally preparing your next response, you choose to be fully present. You maintain eye contact, absorb their words, and acknowledge their emotions with thoughtful nods or brief affirmations. Occasionally, ask insightful questions, not to steer the conversation, but to show that you understand and genuinely care. In that moment, you become more than just a passive listener. You become a source of comfort and trust. Listening is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most powerful and rarest skills a person can develop. The Stoics, renowned for their wisdom and emotional mastery, viewed listening as an essential practice in self-discipline, humility, and understanding. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." This simple yet profound observation highlights a crucial truth. Most people focus more on talking than truly listening. Yet, those who develop the art of active listening naturally earn trust, admiration, and influence. How can you refine this ability? First, master your own thoughts and emotions. Before engaging in a conversation, remind yourself that your goal is not to respond, but to comprehend. Too often, we listen only to prepare our own reply, rather than to genuinely understand the other person's perspective. Second, practice full presence. This means focusing not only on words, but also on tone, body language, and unspoken emotions, because the real message is often found beyond what is said. Third, embrace the power of silence. Many fear pauses in conversation and rush to fill them with words. However, as Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wisely stated, silence is a lesson learned through the many sufferings of life. Sometimes, the most meaningful moments in a conversation come from the unspoken, where thoughts are allowed to settle and emotions are truly felt. The Stoics understood that listening is not just about gathering information. It is about gaining wisdom, building relationships, and cultivating inner strength. When you listen with full presence, you create trust, influence, and a genuine connection, qualities that distinguish great leaders and thinkers from the rest. So let me ask again, are you a good listener? Have you ever experienced a moment where truly listening to someone changed the course of a conversation or strengthened a relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this journey toward becoming more present, more thoughtful, and more deeply respected individuals. Stay tuned for the next essential Stoic strategy, one that will further elevate your presence, power, and influence. 5. Lifelong learning, the key to growth, influence, and fulfillment. What if the journey of self-improvement never truly ends? What if every experience, every triumph, every setback offered an opportunity to refine our character and deepen our understanding of life? Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, captured this truth when he said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." True wisdom is not about reaching a final destination. It is about continuous evolution, a relentless pursuit of knowledge that shapes not only who we are but how others perceive and respect us. In a world that is constantly changing, those who stop learning become stagnant, while those who embrace growth remain resilient, adaptable, and influential. The more we seek knowledge, whether through books, experiences, or meaningful conversations, the more we cultivate an expansive and enlightened perspective. This is not just about gaining information. It's about understanding life at a deeper level, seeing challenges as opportunities, and refining our way of thinking. But learning isn't just for personal gain. It's also a responsibility to share wisdom with others. When we teach, mentor, or simply exchange ideas, we are not only enriching those around us, but also reinforcing our own insights. The greatest minds in history, philosophers, leaders, and visionaries became revered not just for their knowledge, but for their willingness to guide others toward growth. A truly wise person does not hoard knowledge. They use it to elevate those around them, creating a ripple effect of wisdom and understanding. However, real learning extends beyond acquiring facts. It requires a shift in mindset. The Stoics believed that every experience, especially hardship, is a lesson in disguise. When faced with adversity, most people see failure, but those who embrace lifelong learning recognize an opportunity to improve. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this well when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, our greatest obstacles are also our greatest teachers. If you want to earn respect and admiration, commit to learning not just for yourself, but for the benefit of others. Share your insights. Offer guidance. Embrace every difficulty as an opportunity to grow stronger. The people who are truly valued in life are not necessarily those with the most power or wealth, but those who continually seek knowledge, refine their character, and use their wisdom to inspire others. Before we continue on this journey, I want to thank you for being here. But don't stop now. The next lesson is just as crucial. We will explore why authenticity is the foundation of all meaningful relationships and how being true to yourself naturally draws admiration and respect. If you're committed to this path of self-mastery, share, and let's continue growing together. 6. The power of authenticity. Stand firm in who you are. In a world that constantly pushes us to fit in, staying true to yourself is a rare and powerful trait. Authenticity is not about seeking approval, but about embracing your uniqueness with confidence. As Epictetus wisely stated, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The more you align your actions with your true self, the more you attract genuine respect and admiration. Think about someone who lives by this principle. Imagine a musician, Daniel, who once chased trends to gain popularity. He composed songs that followed the mainstream, hoping for success, but something always felt off. Despite gaining listeners, he felt unfulfilled, as if he had lost his creative spark. One day, he decided to take a different path. Instead of making music to fit the market, he started composing from the heart, expressing his raw emotions and personal experiences. At first, he feared rejection, but his authenticity struck a chord with listeners. His fan base grew not because he followed trends, but because his honesty resonated with people on a deeper level. This is the power of authenticity. When you stop pretending and start embracing who you truly are, you naturally draw in those who appreciate you for the right reason. The Stoics believed that inner peace comes from living in alignment with your values rather than chasing external validation. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." True influence doesn't come from trying to impress others. It comes from embodying the qualities you admire. But authenticity isn't just about self-expression. It's also about knowing when to hold back. There is strength in keeping parts of yourself private, in maintaining a quiet confidence that intrigues others. In a time where oversharing is common, those who are selective with their words and actions command the most respect. Many people fear that being their true selves will push others away, but the truth is, not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Those who appreciate you for who you are will remain, while those who only value a false version of you were never meant to be permanent. When you stop chasing approval and start living authentically, you gain something far more valuable than fleeting admiration. You gain self-respect. Ask yourself, are you living according to your true nature, or are you molding yourself to fit expectations? Authenticity is the foundation of deep connections, lasting respect, and inner fulfillment. The moment you stop apologizing for who you are is the moment you start attracting people who truly value you. 7. The art of mystery, cultivating depth and influence. There is an undeniable allure in those who reveal just enough to intrigue yet hold back enough to keep others curious. Mystery is a quiet power. It captivates, commands attention, and builds an unspoken sense of respect. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, those who master restraint and selective revelation naturally stand out. Imagine meeting someone who doesn't immediately lay all their thoughts and experiences bare. Instead, they share insights thoughtfully, leaving space for curiosity to grow. Rather than seeking validation through constant disclosure, they create an aura of depth that makes people want to know more. This quality isn't about deception or withholding. It's about understanding that not everything needs to be explained at once. The Stoics valued self-control, not just in emotions, but in words. Seneca taught, "It is part of the cure to wish to be cured," emphasizing that wisdom comes not just from speaking, but from knowing when to remain silent. A person who understands this principle wields their words like a skilled craftsman, deliberate, impactful, and never wasted. Think about the difference between a book that reveals its entire plot in the first chapter versus one that unfolds gradually, drawing you deeper with each page. People like stories become more compelling when there is an element of discovery. The most respected individuals are not necessarily the ones who talk the most, but those who leave others eager to hear more. This does not mean shutting people out or being secretive for the sake of it. It means embracing depth, sharing meaningfully, and allowing your presence to be valued, not taken for granted. When you master the balance between what you share and what you hold back, you create a lasting impression, one that keeps others engaged and intrigued. Ask yourself, are you offering everything up front, or are you allowing people the privilege of discovering your depth over time? True influence isn't built on being fully understood at first glance. It's built on inspiring others to keep learning from you. 8. The strength in silence, mastering the art of discretion. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, the ability to practice discretion is an underrated strength. Many believe that constantly expressing their thoughts, plans, and emotions earns them attention and validation, but in reality, restraint holds far greater power. Choosing what to reveal and what to keep private is not just a matter of self-control. It is a sign of wisdom, confidence, and strategic thinking. Picture this: you're in a conversation, and the urge to prove yourself pushes you to disclose more than necessary your future plans, personal struggles, or even sensitive details about others. But before you speak, pause. Not everything needs to be shared. Some thoughts are best kept within, some plans are best protected, and some victories are best enjoyed in silence. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca once remarked that the less we desire to be noticed, the more we are noticed. True respect is not earned through loud declarations, but through measured words and purposeful action. Buddhist wisdom on silence and restraint. This principle of discretion is not only found in Stoicism, but also deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings. The Buddha himself emphasized the power of mindful speech, advocating for communication that is truthful, beneficial, and necessary. In one of his teachings, he said, "Better than 1,000 useless words is one word that gives peace." This highlights the idea that words should not be used carelessly, but with intention and wisdom. Consider the story of a Buddhist monk who was once asked deep philosophical questions by a group of scholars. Rather than immediately responding, he remained silent for a long moment, contemplating his words. When he finally spoke, his response was brief yet profound. His audience, expecting a lengthy discourse, was instead given a simple but powerful insight that left a lasting impression. His restraint did not make him seem ignorant. Rather, it elevated his wisdom and deepened the respect others had for him. Similarly, in Zen Buddhism, there is the concept of mokuso, the practice of silent contemplation before action. Warriors in ancient Japan would sit in stillness before battle, training their minds to be unshaken. They understood that true power did not come from excessive speech or boastful claims, but from inner stillness and precision in thought. The power of strategic silence. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who had an innovative idea that could change his industry. He was tempted to discuss it widely, seeking validation and excitement from peers. However, he realized that exposing his vision too soon would invite imitation or interference. Instead, he carefully selected a small group of trusted individuals, sharing only what was necessary. When the time came to launch, he did so without obstacles, giving himself an undeniable edge. His decision to hold back not only safeguarded his success, but also established him as someone whose words carried weight. Discretion is not secrecy, it is self-respect. Before revealing personal information, ask yourself, does this serve my long-term purpose? Am I sharing for a reason or just to fill the silence? If the answer is unclear, choose silence. Mystery carries more influence than unnecessary openness. Those who master discretion exude an aura of wisdom and reliability. They are sought after, not for the words they constantly speak, but for the moments they choose to speak wisely. In a world that rewards noise, be the person whose silence holds meaning. 9. The power of receiving, a path to connection and growth. In a world that often equates strength with self-reliance, the ability to receive gracefully is an overlooked virtue. Many see giving as noble, yet struggle to accept help, kindness, or even compliments. However, true balance in life comes from understanding that receiving is just as essential as giving. By opening ourselves to the generosity of others, we cultivate deeper relationships, encourage mutual support, and reinforce the natural cycle of kindness. The strength in receiving. There is a common misconception that self-sufficiency is the highest form of strength. While independence has its merits, excessive pride in handling everything alone can lead to isolation. Just as nature thrives through interconnectedness, trees relying on the soil, rivers flowing into the ocean, so too do humans flourish through relationships built on both giving and receiving. The Stoic philosopher Seneca reminds us, no man can live a happy life or even a supportable life without the help of others. This truth teaches us that wisdom is not about denying our needs, but embracing the support that others are willing to offer. Strength is not found in rejecting help, but in knowing when to accept it with humility. 5 essential principles of receiving. Embracing interdependency. No one succeeds alone. The belief in total self-sufficiency is an illusion. Just as a skilled musician refines their art through mentorship, we too grow by accepting guidance, encouragement, and support from those around us. Life's greatest achievements are often the result of collaboration rather than solitary effort. Practicing humility. Many people resist receiving because they equate it with weakness. However, accepting help is an act of wisdom, not deficiency. It requires humility to recognize that we do not have all the answers. The truly wise are those who remain open to learning from others. Cultivating gratitude. When we receive with an open heart, we nurture a sense of appreciation. A simple thank you can validate someone's kindness, reinforcing generosity as a shared experience. Gratitude turns ordinary exchanges into meaningful connections and helps us recognize the value of others in our lives. Strengthening relationships. Accepting support fosters trust and connection. When we allow others to help us, we invite them into our lives, creating stronger, more authentic relationships. Mutual dependence is not a weakness, but a reflection of the human experience, one built on shared struggles and triumphs. Encouraging generosity in others. Just as giving feels rewarding, so does receiving. When we accept kindness with grace, we inspire others to continue giving, reinforcing a cycle of compassion and goodwill. Buddhism teaches that generosity DNA is one of the highest virtues, but for generosity to flourish, there must be a receiver. By receiving graciously, we allow others to practice their own virtues. Lessons from Buddhism on receiving. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of giving and receiving as a harmonious exchange. A well-known parable tells of a monk who initially refused food from a kind villager, believing he should not depend on others. The Buddha corrected him, explaining that by rejecting the villager's offering, he was preventing the giver from experiencing the joy of generosity. This story illustrates that receiving is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of balance that allows kindness to thrive. Similarly, Buddhist philosophy teaches that clinging to extreme independence is a form of attachment. Just as the river does not resist joining the ocean, we should not resist the help and goodwill of others. By doing so, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. Practical ways to receive gracefully. Accept compliments without deflection. Instead of downplaying praise, acknowledge it with a simple "thank you, I appreciate that." Seek help when needed. Asking for support is not a burden. It is an opportunity to deepen connections and show trust in others. Receive criticism as a gift instead of reacting defensively. View constructive feedback as an opportunity for growth. Express gratitude. Openly recognize the generosity of others, whether through words or reciprocal kindness. Embracing the balance of giving and receiving. In embracing the art of receiving, we not only enrich our own lives, but also nurture the connections that bind us to others. It is through this balance that we find true strength, not in isolation, but in shared humanity. When we receive with humility and gratitude, we allow generosity to flow freely, creating a world where kindness is both given and welcomed. How do you practice the art of receiving? Share your experiences and reflections below so we can continue learning from one another. 10. Cultivating resilience and inner strength. One of the greatest lessons from Stoic philosophy is learning to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Resilience begins with accepting that external forces, whether the opinions of others, unexpected challenges, or the uncertainties of life, are often beyond our influence. However, this realization is not about surrendering to fate. Instead, it is about channeling our energy into what truly matters, our own thoughts, actions, and responses. By embracing this mindset, you cultivate a sense of calm and unwavering confidence. Others will begin to see you not as someone easily shaken by life's tempests, but as a steady, unmovable force, like a mountain standing firm against the wind. True resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it head-on, pushing through discomfort, and recognizing obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than barriers to success. The strength found in challenges. Difficulties in life are inevitable, but how we approach them defines our character. Stoicism offers practical exercises such as voluntary hardship and reflection on adversity, not as mere trials, but as tools to build mental fortitude. When you share your experiences of perseverance, you inspire those around you, becoming a beacon of hope and proof of the unbreakable human spirit. People naturally gravitate toward those who embody endurance, seeing them as mentors, leaders, and sources of strength. By shifting our perspective, challenges cease to be burdens and instead become stepping stones for growth. What once seemed like an insurmountable mountain transforms into a path forward. As you develop resilience, others will seek your guidance, drawn not only by your ability to overcome hardship, but also by your wisdom in turning adversity into an advantage. A final reflection. Throughout this journey, we have explored 10 powerful strategies inspired by Stoic philosophy, not only to influence how others perceive and respect you, but more importantly, to shape how you perceive and value yourself. Every individual's path is unique, and the insights you gain along the way will continue to shape your growth. We invite you to reflect, how has resilience played a role in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below so we can learn, grow together. If you found value in this discussion, subscribe to the Stoic Compass and support this channel. Your engagement, whether through a like, a comment, or a share helps us continue bringing meaningful Stoic lessons to you. We appreciate your support and look forward to walking this path with you every step of the way. Stay strong, keep striving, and most importantly, never stop shining